sleeping. All right, what is up, everybody? Sorry for the delay. We're finally here. We just had some issues trying to get Bill connected.
I see ya.
You won't see him on screen, but you guys will hear him. He's on the phone with Smitty over there. So,
Oh, that's the guy you want. You can see him. I wonder why we can't see you.
he can see us on the restream.
Yeah, he can see you on restream.
If he can hear me, that would be
can't join.
That'd be perfect.
Can you hear Gerber? Bill, can you hear Jonathan?
We're having some difficulties.
Not at all, huh?
Okay. Well, we'll make it work as best we can. So tonight we just got a couple things. Like we said, we got Bill on. We're gonna do an event recap of the kickoffs and some other things, and then we're gonna talk all of our upcoming events. We're gonna start with a game from Smitty. So first things first, how are you guys doing tonight?
Doing great.
I'm good. I'm doing great, man. I had an awesome weekend. I didn't have to go to work today, so that's awesome.
You're on spring break, not even fair.
Yeah, I don't have to go to work tomorrow or the next day or the next day.
Get out of here.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good week, except for the weather. Of course, that's messing it up a little bit.
Yeah, this weather sucks. Just glad the sun finally came out. Didn't get to see that thing for like 3 days.
Can you hear that, Paulson?
Something about 3 days.
Hey, we're in.
There we
go. Hear it.
There we go.
He can kind of hear it.
Awesome. As long as he can kind of hear us a little bit. That's what we need.
Well, I guess let's introduce them, then we can let Jordan talk about his weekend. We got Bill Paulson here on the phone. We were having a few technical difficulties. So we're trying to, I guess he's going to try to hear what's going on through here, and we're going to try to hear him. We'll see how it works. So this is a learning process in our, third show?
Yeah, I think so.
So, all right. Bill, did you have a good weekend?
Awesome. I even got some golf in.
Oh, really? Where'd you play?
Went out to the Tick Ranch with a bunch of guys yesterday.
I saw a picture, and I was a little mad I didn't get an invite, but it's understandable.
Yeah, my invite was secondhand from somebody who didn't show up.
Well, that's their loss, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So, all right, cool. Shafe, weekend?
Oh, got in a little bit of disc golf. Had to whip up on Smitty at league. By whip up, I mean squeak one out by one stroke. And, that's the highlight.
I pretty much gave that to you, by the way.
It's true.
That's the new theme in 2023 for me, I guess. So, Gerbs?
Went to Kansas City and did a little shopping, and that's about it. I didn't do a whole lot this weekend. No disc
I
golf
heard a
for me.
rumor you're moving to
I
Kansas
am.
City.
Yep, we're gonna move out there. I think late April, early May. So
Yeah, what's taking you out
excited.
there?
I'm just ready to get away from this area. I've lived in Beloit. I grew up in Beloit, and just never been farther from there than McPherson. So I'm just ready for something new. Ready to get somewhere new. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that'll be fun.
Cool.
lots of disc golf. Lots of disc golf.
Yeah.
Oh, lots of
Yeah.
great disc golf. Yeah, that'll be cool for you. So,
Very excited.
all right. Well, let's start with the game tonight. Let's do it a little bit different order. Ronnie was going to give us his game, but Ronnie had to. His boss, he says, was in town, so I don't know what that means. All I know is his family's out of town. So kind of weird that, the only week that his family's gone, he's got something going on.
Mm.
I'm guessing casino trip if I was a guessing man. So anyhow, here we go. We'll start with the game. I think it'll lead to some fun discussion about some of the events been going on in the KDJ, what's coming up in the KDJ, things like that. The name of the game is Birdie or Bogey. It's real simple. If you think I'm telling a lie, that's a bogey. You call bogey. If you think I'm telling the truth, that's a birdie, and you call birdie. And we'll just kind of do a rotating order. So we'll let Bill have first answers, and then he'll be last in the next question. And it looks like I have 5 or 6 questions, maybe. So, and you can have the same answer as the other person, obviously. So, you guys ready?
Ready?
Oh yeah.
All right, here we go. Question number 1, starting with Bill. In 2022, last year, the KDJ had 110 members total. In 2023, more than 110 people played in KDJ kickoff events as members or becoming members that day.
Birdie.
Birdie.
I'll go birdie.
Birdie all the way around. That's a true story. We had 122
Wow.
people play the different KDJ kickoff events.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and according to Kevin Neufeld's numbers, our current KDJ membership is about 220 people.
Wow.
Yeah, so doubled it up, and
That's amazing.
it's crazy, man. And every day somebody's hitting me up, hey, how do I get on the schedule? What do we need to do? And those kickoff events might have been the greatest idea we've had in 20 years.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I've heard somebody say that.
It was really neat the way it worked out. And we got every shirt, every disc, with the exception of about 20 that we still have, handed out. So we're in the process of scrambling to get some more discs and some more shirts and some more pins. And by the way, $30 can get you a disc with that little redheaded mug on there.
That looks familiar.
Yep.
Pretty cool disc.
Shirt with the same logo. The original shirts were gray, baby blue, and yellow. And you can also get this year a KDJ member pin. And this little
Those turned out really cool.
go
Those guys
over.
are awesome. I heard a lot of people say how much they like those.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty cool thing. So cool. Well, after question 1, we're all tied. 1. Let me write my score down. Bill, 1. Hey Gerber, you finally got a question
Hey,
right.
look at me.
Only took 2 weeks.
I got a couple guesses right before.
Okay, true.
Not many, but a couple.
All right. Question number 2. And this starts with Gerber and ends with Paulson. We've already had 2 KDJ events this year. The Renaissance in Newton and Diabolic Doubles in Anthony. Both events featured an ace. All aces hit at both events were all by KDJ members.
I'm gonna go birdie. I'll go birdie.
Jordan?
I'll go birdie. Not 100%
Birdie, birdie.
sure.
Mr. Paulson.
I'm going to go figure that they know what they're talking about, so I'll agree with them. Birdie.
Big time bogey, boys.
Dang.
And at Camp Hawk, the Renaissance event, Seth Gonzalez aced hole what used to be 24 at Camp Hawk, I think. It's
Yep.
the one he aced, and it's now 18 on the new layout. And Seth was not a KDJ member.
Come on,
So
Seth.
that cost him half of what could have been the traveling ace pot. And an Anthony Chad Neach from Oklahoma, Craig's partner, aced hole 3. Also not a KDJ member.
Okay, I thought he was. I wasn't sure about Seth, but
Dang.
You thought Chad was?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
we've had 2 aces at both events, and neither being KDJ members. So
That's tough.
the KDJ ace pot, I'm not sure what it's at. That would be a Craig or Adkins question. Whatever half of that is at is still available. That's just kind of a bonus perk is for being a KDJ member is the opportunity to win that bad boy. Sometimes it gets up there pretty high.
I've cashed it in a couple times.
I don't think I've gotten it, but I don't remember anything big. I remember, I think Brett Strait hit a big one at Beloit one year.
I think my big one would have been. No, I can't remember where my big one was at now. Rusk ran it. It was the copper. The tree was.
Oh, Wellington.
Trophy. Yeah, Wellington. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There.
That is a fantastic trophy, man. He spends a lot of time twisting those things. Yeah. All right. Well, 1-1-1. Paulson, I really thought you were going to go opposite of these guys.
I started to, but they sounded so positive.
That's the trick.
Positive,
That's
they
the
were
trick.
wrong. All right. Question number 3. So this one starts with Jordan and ends with Gerber. The Camp Hawk Renaissance was not only a restart to the course, but we used it as a charitable event for further renovations of the course to help, fulfill Sweet's dream of making an even more spectacular course there. But the players were able to donate more than $2,000 to the club for further upgrades. One event, $2,000.
I'll go birdie. I got faith in generous people.
Bill now, right?
Yeah, Bill. Bill's turn.
Birdie.
Birdie, birdie.
I got to fade him. I'm going bogey.
That is a bogey.
Hmm.
We got 1190 was our total, so just about $10 short. So, still, that's a
good number.
lot. Man, I wish I could have seen the look on Sweet's face when I sent him that number. That was awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah.
For one day. So, and that all came from the players, $10 from each entry fee, and then we raffled off a basket, and that brought in the rest of it, a basket and some discs and all kinds of cool stuff. And several people donated their entry fees or their payouts as well. So pretty cool. Disc golfers are generally some of the most generous people that you'll find, I think.
It's true.
All right, here we go. So this goes to Paulson first. All right, we had 75 players at Camp Hawk. 75. Josiah Davenport, who is 13 years old, beat all but 4 of those players.
I'll go birdie on that.
Gerber?
I'll go birdie.
Shafe?
I'll go the other way. I'll go bogey.
That's a birdie. 13-year-old kid beat all but 4 players. Swede beat him because Swede ended up winning the event. Nolan, who's currently in between disc golf pro tour events, so he's kind of good too. Tate, I think, Galloway, and then he tied with Kevin Milbers. But 13 years old,
That's insane.
smoking everybody, and it's just crazy how good these dang kids are, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, all 3 of them.
And it's not them, but just kids in general everywhere. They're just all good. The Taylor boys are amazing. The Davenport kids are amazing. Yeah, it just blows my mind. I can't imagine 10 years ago, a 13-year-old kid showing up at a tournament and just smoking everybody.
Yeah.
But
It's wild how it's changed.
it's just nuts, and we're really lucky to see it. I think the next 10 years are going to be pretty amazing here in Kansas, but also all over the disc golf world. Like
how old Nolan when he started?
I would say Nolan was probably about the same age those guys are now as Josiah is. He's probably younger. He's probably 10, 11 when he started, I think.
Yeah.
So
Would have loved to have started that early.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's just nuts, man. And not just here, but everywhere. Like,
oh yeah,
Kyle Klein, the kid's like
Burr.
20. Kyle Klein's 20 years old, and he threw the most amazing shot and made a spectacular putt yesterday to beat all of the best players in the world.
Yeah,
it's unreal.
Just nuts.
Unreal.
Just nuts. Glad I'm old and don't have to play with those guys.
I got a ways to go until I can get away from that.
Yeah.
I play advanced now.
Okay, so our current score, according to my calculations, Mr. Paulson, 2, Gerber, 3, and Schaefer, you're on the board with a single stick.
Hey, I'm on the board.
All right, here we go.
No goose eggs.
I think I'm thinking 2 out of the 3 get this one. Who are we starting with? Is it Gerber's turn?
I think so.
All right,
Yeah.
good. All right. Last year, Jordan won the scholarship event at Colwich. Last year. The event featured more than 120 players. 120 players at Colwich, 18-hole course.
It's 22.
Oh, they extended to 22.
Okay. I'm gonna go birdie.
Okay.
Birdie.
Birdie. Bill?
Bogey.
Oh. You weren't the one that was supposed to miss. Okay, so that's a birdie. There's 122. I just looked on the PDJ website right before we started here.
Was that a flex event? Or
It
like
was
a flex
not.
start? Really?
2 rounds.
Wow.
2 rounds, and
It was crowded.
I remember
Did
seeing
you?
that
Is
one
that
was
including
huge.
the juniors? They played on the other course 1 round. Same
did
day.
they? Well, this year everybody's going to play around on the other course, from what I understand. Is that true, Bill?
That's true.
That's true. So that
Yeah,
opens that
breaking
baby up
news.
to another 60 people, hopefully.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, hopefully we can get 180. So
Yeah, I forgot about all the juniors that played last year.
were they not on the? They not part of the PDJ event?
I think they were.
I'm thinking Kenny might have run something separate.
Oh, mini bombers somewhere else.
How does
Okay.
So like he was on the west course.
how does
That
that
makes
event aid the scholarship? Does
There
that
you go.
event aid the scholarship?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay.
You want to talk
I
about
thought
that a
so.
little bit more?
Whatever.
Okay, yeah, go for it right now. I think this is a good time.
What was he asking? I can just barely hear Jordan.
Okay, it was Gerber. He would like to know how the scholarship event directly benefits the scholarship itself.
Okay. Well, we get money 2 ways. from that tournament. One is the players donate $5 or $6, but then they have to. We get the PDGA fee back to us, and then the players have to match that fee also by PDGA rule, and the KDGA donates their money back, and so we get like $10 or $11 from the players.
Oh, wow.
And then we have a raffle, and all of that money comes to us. All of the money that we get goes into our scholarship bank, if you will. And half of the money that is raised in a year is given away the next year as a scholarship. The other half goes into a bank account, interest bearing, and we give away 100% of all interest earned in a year on the next scholarship. And so our bank account's somewhere around 20,000. Been growing now for 20 years. In fact, this year is our 20th annual event.
Wow.
So we've got, good things going on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
That's awesome.
The raffle is usually huge. Takes quite a while to get through, and so much stuff going out. So once again, disc golfers showing their generosity, because people will bring collectibles and throwers and cool discs and every little thing. And I mean, on top of that, I don't know if it's happening this year, but 180 players is a lot. But I can think back to years when we were at the Tick Ranch, and everybody got a tick skin trophy.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that's still a thing or not.
One of the things that we have tried to do every year was to reward the players, to give them something back for their monetary donation.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a trophy or plaque or something for everybody that signs up. And this year we have some what looks like marble 4-inch discs that Ace Mason donated. And we've put that into a plaque. He was a very big supporter of youth disc golf. And so he gave me those discs in order to be used for youth. And in this case, we incorporated them into the trophies this year.
Sweet.
That's awesome. And
That's really awesome.
for people that don't know who Ace Mason was, he was big time in KC for a long time. And I'm pretty sure, Bill, correct me if I'm wrong, but he is, if not directly responsible, but at least partially responsible for designing Waterworks Disc Golf Course.
Oh, wow.
I think so. His Kansas City membership number is 001.
Yeah.
Okay.
He'd been around.
Yeah.
No.
Ran the first Kansas City Wide Open, and been involved with it up until his death.
And that was what, 2 or 3 years ago?
Just last summer.
Okay.
Yep. He was. He's also Missouri Hall of Fame and National Hall of Fame.
Wow.
I met him a few times. I actually met him the first time. I think EMAC introduced me to him at the KC Wide Open, and then apparently he moved to Wichita or something later in life, because I saw him at Doodah, I think.
Yeah, back in 2000-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he always looked like what you would think of as the prototypical disc golfer too, right? And had the cool, slow demeanor and everything. Yeah, he was a cool cat.
Yeah. And funny stories. And a lot. Yeah.
A lot of them, I bet.
Yeah.
Yep, for sure. So I think I had some questions about the scholarship tournament. I think we should maybe hit those now instead of finish out our game. What you and Jeff are the driving forces behind the scholarship, from what I understand. You and Priest, what got you guys to start this whole scholarship thing 20 years ago?
I'd probably have to back up a little bit. In '92, John started the world's biggest disc golf tournament, right?
Okay.
And the instructions were bring somebody new to the course to play disc golf, to expand the sport. And I was teaching at that time and knew two other players that taught, one at Rose Hill and one at Derby, and called them up and I said, hey, why don't we, for this world's biggest, bring a team together and have a high school championship? And Derby ended up winning, and one of the players on that team was Kenny Undercoffer.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He didn't continue playing. He picked it up again later, but he goes back to that. That only lasted about 12 years because you couldn't get parents to let kids drive across the state to a tournament. Mm-hmm. So they their hometown, but nowhere else really.
Right.
So out of that frustration, we quit doing it in '03 after 12 years. And then the next year, I was out at Jeff, said something to the effect, I have this thing that's missing in my life. We not only had a high school tournament, we also had a mini Oz tour for the kids. So he said, why don't we start a scholarship? And so perfect. And we had a tournament that year, and our first fundraiser raised enough to give away $300 today.
Bought somebody's books, probably.
Good start.
Yeah.
That high school series of events you used to run, that's how our paths originally crossed. I don't know if you remember this or not, but it was probably in I'm going to say 97. Ransom got a disc golf course, and I don't remember if you showed up there at that event or if it was a little bit later, but you got to talking to me about it, and I had a couple of kids there in town, and one of their parents was crazy enough to let their teacher let their neighbor, who was their kid's teacher, take their kid clear to Manhattan, Kansas for a weekend. We camped out, and I remember you were there. You had a little camper, I believe.
Yep.
And Zachary and I both had tents, and I don't know how much you stayed in his tent, but I quickly understood why parents weren't too excited about sending their kids across the state with their teachers.
I brought 3 high school girls.
I know. So Zachary knew that too. 3 girls is what Paulson brought.
Yeah. On the second day, they said, okay, Mr. Paulson, we're going to dye your hair.
Oh.
And so they dyed my hair bright red. I played the second round with red hair. It was at lunchtime.
really a fantastic thing, man. I wonder if something like that would take off now with the big boom in numbers and courses. And
Yeah.
Somebody told me that it's kind of in the works to get it Acacia approved.
yeah, you lost my vote there.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, if it gets Casey approved, then that's fantastic for disc golf, and that's fantastic for the kids. But somebody wants to bring back the hair dyeing. I can't see who it is.
Corey Ward.
Corey. Yeah.
There's probably less hair to dye now than there was in '97. So, well, that would be cool if that thing came back, and even if it was on a smaller scale. I mean, it was pretty. You went quite a few places. I don't remember if Ransom was one of the events or not, but
yes, it was. Yep.
That's a long ways out there.
Yep. Yeah, I definitely remember going out there with a couple of kids.
Mm-hmm. I was about the only people that would play with me in Ransom were one friend that was an adult and then like 3 high school boys. And Josiah would whoop the crap out of all of them, and he's in middle school. So, well, that's cool.
Yeah.
You guys got any other scholarship or high school disc golf team questions?
Nothing that I can think of at the moment.
All right.
We hit them.
Well, I got 2 more game questions, and I think they'll maybe lead into to some other discussions for Bill. Oh, and by the way, the score is Bill 2, Gerber somehow chasing down his first victory. And then Jordan tied with Bill, if I'm correct. I might be wrong. I don't know.
Just got to get one more right. And I think I got it, right? You got 2 more questions, so I got to get one more right.
Well, the last one's worth 10.
Oh, all right. Fair enough. That's fine.
All right, next question. Let me see how I want to say this. Jordan and Bill's combined PDJ number is less than Gerber's PDJ number. Jordan's PDJ number plus Paulson's PDJ number is less than Gerber's PDJ number.
Dang it, I wish I had it. I wish I had the
Let's
Schaefer
see.
disc laying around here.
I don't remember who we're on.
I don't either.
We'll go with Gerber. Leader gets to go first.
I'll go Birdie. I'll go Birdie.
I'll go
Jake?
bogey. Bogey.
Jake's going bogey. Paulson?
I'll go birdie.
It is a birdie.
Hmm.
It is a birdie.
I didn't think you got yours too far behind mine, Gerber.
Yeah, I'm 110.793.
110.793. Jordan is
9-7.
You are 97309. And Bill, 4 digits. 3543.
That's cool.
I knew he was a 4 digit.
I was doing some looking on his PDJ. I saw his first event was 1989. Is that right? First PDJ event.
I don't know when his first event was, but I know when his first PDJ win was. And We'll get to that in a minute. All right, so
I didn't look that close.
2-part question. Birdie or bogey, and then guess the number. Closest to the number will win 10 points. All right, so all 4 of our combined PDJ numbers, Paulson, myself, Jordan, and Gerber, if you add up all of our PDJ numbers, it's lower than the current PDJ number that was just given out.
Me first?
Sure.
I'm gonna go birdie on that one.
Definitely birdie.
Birdie.
Yep.
It's gonna be so close.
What'd you say, Bill?
Birdie.
It is a birdie. Our numbers add up to 231,628. And that's lower than the current PDJ number that was just given out. The follow-up question worth 10 points. And I think you two need to write this down on something so I can see it. And then Paulson can just tell us his guess. Or type it into your phone or do something so we don't have cheating. Give him just a second here, Bill, before you guess the current PDJ number.
Okay.
And Gerber, we can see in your glasses if you go to pdj.com.
All right. So that's the guess the current PDJ number.
Guess the most current PDJ number as of about 15 minutes ago. Well, 15 minutes before we started this. It may have grown. All right. Bill, what's your guess?
You ready for me?
I'm writing it down.
Price is right rules?
No, just close. What do you say?
255000.
255000. Gerber?
I went 250198. I just threw some stuff down.
250198. So just above Bill.
I went way too high. I had 261327. I didn't realize that. Yeah, 250 just got hit.
250 did just get hit. So Paulson wins 10 points and the game. The game.
I'll never get one.
Yeah. Hey, you just like last time, you win a big high five next time we see you. We don't have the budget for anything beyond that.
Yeah.
So the current number when I looked a little bit ago was 251,948.
Dang it.
That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. And somebody on here says Bill got his number in 8586.
That's right.
That's correct?
Yeah.
And I looked at your PDGA page, and it says that you have 15 PDJ wins.
I don't know.
The first in 1990. 1990 was your first PDJ win. Do you happen to remember the tournament?
Doodah.
Correct. And do you happen to remember who got second, third, and fourth place?
Dennis Voschholtz, Buddy Kastner, and no clue.
Buddy was on the list, but he wasn't in the top four. It was some dude last name Bear.
Yep, he's from Oklahoma.
Yep, you bested him, and he tied with Dennis. And then some dude named Doughty, Doughty.
Okay.
He took fourth solo.
All right.
Back in 1990. And you were a master in 1990.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That's, man. Well, how old are you now?
I'm 71.
You're what?
71.
71.
Yeah, but don't forget, they changed the rules in 98 or 99 from 35 to 40.
Yeah, that's why yeah. So they raised it.
Yes.
And now they have every 5 years. That's and I think that starts at 50, 55, 60. So,
right.
Really?
Which I think when you get 50, which I now am, I do think you probably age twice as fast. I know it's I'm a sore son of a gun today after building that stupid tower this weekend. I can't even touch my toes right now. It's I'm in a bad way. So Ronnie Unruh had a question. He wanted to know what your favorite disc golf memory over all these years of playing and all these years of designing courses and all these years of scholarship foundations and all these, everything that you've done over all these years. If you had to pick one or two of your top memories, what would they be?
The first thing that comes to mind is going to work. And because I'm old, I guess, the divisions I was playing in was rubbing shoulders with all of the movers and shakers of the disc golf sport nationally. Whatever. I played with all the disc manufacturers, all the top pass winners, and just hanging out with those guys is certainly quite a memory.
Yeah, I bet.
From Captain, just Johnson, Red, just the list goes on. It's huge. And they're just regular people, Rick Folks, and so anyway, yeah. But another thing that I got to do, I got to go to Colorado in '98, and it was a A-tier, which was the top level, and as an A-tier event, but it was also a qualifying event to get onto the national team to play against Europeans, or the international team, I should say. It wasn't just Europeans, in a world championship thing. Well, that was cool, and I did make it. What was cool about it was there was like 13, 14, 15 players in my division. It was 4 rounds in Colorado Springs. And partially through the luck of the draw and partially through my play, I actually got to play with everyone in my division.
That's cool.
How often can you say that?
Yeah.
I actually played with every single one of them. And that, like I said, partially because my first round is, random.
Mm-hmm.
But my score was so bad the first round. I was in like the third, going into the second round. And then but I worked my way up, and the top 2 individuals got automatic bids to be part of the team, and I came in second, beating out John Bird as one of them. So that was a cool experience.
Where was the match with the Euros at?
Frisco, up in the mountains.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That's
Really cool.
Yeah, that's super cool.
That's an experience.
That's super cool.
And I didn't lose a match. It was match play.
Oh, even more fun.
Yeah.
Such a different way to play the game, and just complete different stress and strategy. So much fun.
Yes, it was tons of fun.
Yeah. I don't know if you know, Bill, but we do a little match play thing here every summer in Wichita, the Wample.
Yeah.
Yep. Jordan made it to the finals last year, and then he ran into a guy with a mean mustache. Derailed. That was my strategy. I knew I couldn't beat him straight up, so I came in with a mustache, and he couldn't handle it.
It was wild.
Too much for him. Ronnie came in with another question. He says, as a main cog in the Wichita disc golf scene over all these years, and beyond Wichita, what do you hope that your legacy will be 30, 40 years down the road when people say Bill Paulson?
Just that I was a supporter of disc golf, I guess, from courses around here. I don't take 100% credit for any of them. There were always other. I should bring. Just that I was involved in disc golf.
Yeah. That's pretty much spoken like the way most disc golfers, I think, would say is they they were just part of the whole thing.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, this last like 5 or 6 years of disc golf have just been crazy, haven't they? Just the way things have changed.
Mm-hmm.
It just blows my mind every time I think about it.
It's so cool.
Oh, it's awesome.
I can tell you that 30, 40 years ago, would say in my dreams that someday it'll be like ball golf, getting that big and that recognized, and all of a sudden it's starting to get there.
It is.
$1 million contracts and that sort of thing.
Yep.
So
I'm still waiting for mine to come in.
We all are.
I'd settle for $100 contract. That'd be good.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay. So piggybacking on your course designs, you've had a hand in, I'm guessing, every course here in Wichita, in one way or the other going in. Were there any of the courses here in town that stand out to you as, the one that you're maybe the most proud of, or getting the approval was, a real process you guys had to fight through that you're really honored to be one of the founders of that course, or just all of them?
Little history. We finally got all the baskets. They started off in Riverside, Central Riverside, and ran into neighbor trouble. So they got split up, 9 to Herman and 9 to Oak. And we finally got them back together, but at Oak, and at that point, got to expand Oak from 9 holes to 18 into North Riverside. And then the club raised money to buy the Mach X's. And when those went in, it was 18 baskets, and the city said, well, we want some beginner type courses, and you can put 9 in Cessna and 9 over in Millbrook. And I went to look at both parks, and I said, went to the city and I said, both of those parks will support 18 holes. And it says, I think we can design it to where we can use a normal 18 and then actually expand it into a big boy tournament, but using the other triangle of land. But the one I really enjoyed doing was Millbrook, because there was probably only 2 trees on the whole property.
That's amazing.
And they allowed us to say, I want a tree right here.
Mm-hmm.
And met the tree guy, and we pounded stakes in the ground. So we tried to keep it with wide fairways for beginners. We didn't want tight like Colwich. But that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. That's really a unique situation there where they come in and plant the trees to define the fairways versus finding the fairways.
Yes.
Give you a blank slate. It's pretty cool.
And I've only been here, this is my 3rd or 4th year, and I'll bet you those trees are growing 3 foot a year probably.
Yeah.
And they're still putting more in. They planted 40 or 50 last year.
Good.
Yeah.
I feel like that's something that's going to be kind of awesome for that course, because feel like some of the courses that we have now that are older in the state, like Hayes, we just saw it lose that big tree on hole 2, and like in
Terry
Salina,
Park.
like we've seen that happen a lot in Salina here lately. We've been losing trees, and not at Thomas, but at Lakewood, and like Jordan just said at Cary, like that's something that's I think unique to Millbrook that they'll have going for them going into the future.
And it's gonna in 10 or 15 years that place is gonna be so cool to play. And yeah, and so many upgrades just there over the last few years. We've got tee pads, we've got baskets,
Yeah.
we've got course signage, we've got, I mean, and the city loves us. They
Awesome.
love the fact that park went from 20
Swampland.
people a year doing anything productive in that park to that place never sleeps.
That's right.
Never
Amazing.
sleeps.
Always a car there.
You know, I think what's crazy is we really haven't had much problem with the neighbors either at that park. And there's the one guy that doesn't care for us off of hole 4, and I'm guessing somebody jumped his fence at some point. They didn't do the right thing, and that's gonna piss anybody off.
Yeah.
That's why we made some changes there so that people wouldn't be throwing across his fence.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah.
That place is growing for sure. All right, so I want to know about the. You were instrumental in starting the KDJ too, weren't you? Way back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to know a little bit about that. How that all kind of came about. In the short version, we don't have to keep us here all night because I bet you could talk on this for hours. But just kind of where it came from and how you guys envisioned it.
Well, I'll back up a little bit before KDGA. Back in the mid '80s, what's the basket with the plastic chain? Is that TriStar or something?
Free me.
Well, anyway, they were trying to get people to put courses in around the country. And it's a very light duty basket, plastic chains with a weight so that they wouldn't blow around in the breeze. And they contacted the PGA to get more information. And who was in charge of the PDGA at that time? It was Ted Smethers. And so Ted said, get a hold of Bill Paulson. He lives in your town. And so Ted sent me the PDGA membership. So I looked like I was professional, and I was a member. Otherwise, I'd never have joined. So the city calls me up, and I go to a meeting with this guy who's trying to sell this course, and I said, I'm sorry, but you do not want these in your park. Light duty, they won't stand up to vandalism. You need DGA baskets. Nothing happened. About a year later, Mark James sells a course through Wendy's to the city that went into Central Riverside. And Mark was a shaker. He got things organized, ran tournaments. He started the KDGA, really. And there were a group of us, probably 12 counting Mark, that was always there doing something course-wise, tournament-wise, whatever. And he got the 12 of us to start the KDGA. Jeff was one of them. I had to look at the
Harvey,
Dave, Richard, yes, definitely. And so Harvey and I and Mark were the first 3 off of the KDGA, and started getting members. So the first year in '88, they held 3 or 4 tournaments, but they were all in Riverside Park at the Central Riverside course. And pretty soon, Harvey's going to take over because Mark's stepping down or stepping back, whatever. And I said, I'm getting tired of playing this one course. If we're going to be the KDGA, we need to take this to other courses. And in 1990, there were only like 12 courses in the state, with the Dick Ranch one of them. McPherson was born in that year as a 12. So there was really only 10 in 90. And they started taking the tour on the road, became the Oz Tour. And that was a lot of Harvey and his crowd pushing that and naming it and that sort of thing.
You couldn't hardly have found a better hype man than Harvey back in the day. I can remember him getting out of his little white Honda Civic in Ransom and all tie-dye, and he just stepped out of his car, and you could just tell that this guy was disc golf, man. Tie-dye everywhere, socks, everything. And
even his underwear.
Oh, and he was so good at disc golf. So good.
Oh, yeah. He threw that Cyclone like it was,
It's a little bit upsetting to know that we have somebody that dude was fantastic. And there's so many people that don't even know who Harvey Barger is or was. And that guy is disc golf.
We're the KDGA for years and years. He's what you are today. Ran everything. Him and Buddy, Dave.
Dave Stobbs, is that?
No. Stobbs, just a player from McPherson. Dave Richards.
Oh, yeah, Rich.
Yep.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool.
Pretty cool. So, well, you got anything else on that front?
They interesting tidbit. I wrote a book.
Of course you did.
I didn't write a book. I compiled notes into a book about the first 10 years of the KDGA. People told me, I actually wrote it in 2004, but people told me I ain't going to want it. Well, it needs to be put together. And I didn't till many years later finally get it printed into a book form. And so the first 10 years, there was a pretty active Oz tour. But then 1998, I paid my dues in 97 for 98, but there wasn't any Oz tour. Kind of took a break. They still had tournaments everywhere, but they didn't keep points or anything like that. So I was the only paid member in 1998.
Huh.
Crazy.
Huh.
And then that's probably about when Harvey got out of it and Scott Reek kind of took over.
He was there for another couple of years, I think. Was 99, 2000, 2001, somewhere in there.
Okay.
But somebody else took over.
Yeah, Reek. Scott Reek was the next one.
Yep.
Pretty cool. And the guy who puts in courses, writes a book,
Yeah.
made a disc golf game, Holes, right? That was the name of it.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I think there's versions of versions of your game that are now being pushed out there. They're probably pretty similar to holes. I don't know if I've ever actually played it.
I've played the one that what's his name? Why can't I think of his name? Used to run the Pro Tour. What's his name?
Steve Dodge.
Steve Dodge. I played the one that they put out. That one's pretty fun. I don't know how similar it is, but
I don't know.
Should have patented that baby.
yeah.
I haven't gotten the fourth one yet.
The fourth.
Yeah, there's actually 4 disc golf board games that I know of.
Oh, I thought you were telling me you had a fourth, and I'm like, good gravy. So, yeah, you've done a lot, that's for sure.
Interesting story. How that holes game got started.
Okay.
I was at a friend's house, and this friend ended up buying every get-rich-quick scheme there was. And so when I'd go visit him, I'd hear about the latest. And I would say, well, Jerry, in order to get rich, you have to put one of them into practice. You can't just buy the material and think you're going to get rich. And he said, well, if you think it's so damn easy, why don't you do something? That made me start thinking, there's no disc golf board game. I think I'll design a disc golf board game. And now that name came about.
That's awesome.
And did you get rich?
No. I borrowed money for the second edition. I finally got that money back in sales and paid off the loan. It was taking too big of a toll on the family, and so I closed up shop and mothballed everything that I had.
Bummer. You might be able to put it in production now a little bit easier.
Oh, I would think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there copies of this game out there somewhere?
Excuse me?
Are there copies of holes out there? Like, if you wanted to hook up with somebody in Salina area to play holes.
There's people who've got them all over the state.
Clint Donaldson guarantee has one.
Yeah, I'd bet on it.
Probably Rich Holmgren. I don't know if he's still around Salina or not, but he probably has
He comes around.
Mace Man probably has one.
If they played in the early 90s, that's when it copyright 89, 90, 91, 92. Anyway, that's when it was out there.
That's
I still have copies that I can get rid of.
there you go.
Hey, there we go.
Might have to hit you up.
Yeah.
I bet you'll get rid of a few after this. For sure. Or maybe you can win one in the raffle at the scholarship drive.
There we go.
There you go. Cool. So, yeah, I think that hits all of my bullet points that I had for you. You guys have anything for Bill?
I think we got through a lot.
I just have one quick question. Can you throw out a couple Kansas disc golf legends that maybe some of us newer guys don't know about?
Yeah, there we go.
Some of the old players, Juan Rice, Clint Donaldson, they're both still playing now. David Stubbs, he was a top player. Of course, Hart, Dave, down in Winfield. A bunch of Kansas City guys,
Otto and Bruce and those guys, are they younger than you?
Oh, yeah.
Bruce is way younger than you. I don't know about Otto.
Yeah, both younger. Yep. Dennis, he's old timer.
Oh, yeah. And still looks the same, doesn't he?
It does.
Man, I saw a picture of him. Forget where it was. He was doing something at a lake, jumping off a rock or something, and it looked just like Dennis was like just now jumping off the rock. It looked like the same guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool stuff. So
that's awesome.
Anywho, well, that's all I have for you. If you got any other stories you want to share with us? People are loving it. They need more of these.
People are really liking this.
So,
what I guess I have a question I like to ask people, and it's pretty simple, and I'm sure that everybody has more than one. But like, what's like one of your favorite shots that you've ever thrown? Like, is there a specific, like, just one throw that you had that you threw it and you were like, that was like the coolest thing you've ever done?
A shot that you've thrown that just sticks out in your mind is your greatest shot.
Wow.
There's a lot.
Does he have to leave it to one, or can he tell you about 10 or 12 of them?
4 or 5,
sure
whatever.
You know, I can't think of just one specific shot. I'll mention one. I went to a world tournament down in Arizona, and I played like crud. I'd been working construction and had no time to practice or get into the flow of disc, and I couldn't play worth of beans. And I was on a hole. The basket was above my head up on a cliff. The cliff was at least 10 foot, and the basket up, and I was down below. And the camera was there filming. And I don't think I made any shots other than maybe from 5 feet that day. But I made that one, and I made the video of
Hey.
as if I was some hot player. But, you know, every now and then you have a tournament or a round that you're just in the zone. And those are pretty special. I got to, you know, Colwich, one of those, before it got changed to east and west, it was just all one big course. Very few people ever played that course or that tournament that we had under par. But normally that was because the wind was blowing 40 miles an hour, or the rain was coming in buckets. But besides that, you know, it didn't happen very often, even when there was nice weather on casual days. But we had a doubles tournament, and my partner was Jeff with a broken arm. So all he could do was up and putt. And so I shot a 7 down on the red, which tied for the win. But 7 down, either red or blue, was phenomenal. It's just one of those you couldn't miss, you know. So whenever you're in the zone, you know it and you enjoy it.
That's true. That's true. That old Colwich course, man, just thinking that we played all the way back to where hole 18's tee pad is on west.
Yeah.
Clear back to where hole 1 is on east now. We used all that for one course.
Yeah, and part of the problem with that was we had 18 bridges because we crossed the creek so many times, and there were 2 fairways for every hole. Just about every hole anyway. So yeah, it was a monster to take care of.
Are there any holes on there that are still original holes from way back then? 18 is kind of the same hole, but on east, but it plays backwards. It used to play the other way as hole 1.
Yes, right.
So same fairway, but different hole in different direction. I don't think any are the exact same.
No, yes, hole 2 of the original would be hole 15 blue. But no, the basket's in a different place.
But same basic shot.
Sort of. We had the reason the trees are around that long basket is because that was going to be the alternate pin for number 2. And we planted those trees. But then we never got it done, the new pin, because of course got pulled, and, the rest is history. But no, I can't think of any that are exactly.
And then I remember a huge dirt pile or something along the crappers.
That was on 5.
And that played backwards of what it plays now. You teed off by the highway and went the other way.
Right.
And I remember because Mace Man ripped one out there into this headwind, and that thing flipped over, caught an edge, turned around, and rolled right back past him on the tee pad.
Didn't it go across the road?
It went into the highway for sure. There's a big old bulletin board that had these ginormous, I remember, had these ginormous like push pins stuck in the bulletin board.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's
Good
brutal.
old Mace. It was awesome. So
We had somebody ask, I think this question might kind of answer itself, but we had somebody ask about your favorite hole at Indian Rock.
What about Indian Rock?
do you have a favorite? Can you remember any of the holes at Indian Rock, and which one's your favorite?
Oh, for sure. I'm going to have to say it's the one on top of the hill that plays to the island on the south side.
Yep.
Yeah.
Who knows what number that is? It changes a lot.
We got to do that one a little differently now, but I think going backwards it would be 18, 17, 16. It might be like 14, 15, that range.
Probably somewhere in there.
So.
Yeah, it was a high number. I know that.
Yeah, that's a fun hole, trying to hit that.
Yeah.
What looks like a small island from way up above, and it's always windy. Well, that's fun, man.
That one's a little different now, but it's still an island. Just not the same island, but
that place proved to me that adults lie to kids all the time. I grew up probably a mile from Indian Rock my entire youth, and they would always tell us, "Don't go over to that pond. It doesn't have a bottom. There's a crane in the bottom of it." Whole life, man. Now that thing is bone dry, and there's definitely no crane in there.
Yeah, that's a cool shot too, from up on top and across the pond.
Yep.
It's a classic.
That's coming up. That's
in a few weeks.
I think. So cool. Well, anything else for Bill, or?
I think I got everything out I wanted to.
Right on. Do you want to stick around with us here, Bill, or you want me to mute you? Or? You want some more?
No, what are you doing?
We're going to talk about the events that we've had so far, touch on those, and then talk about what's coming up on the KDJ schedule.
Cool. Well, one thing that's coming up is the scholarship tournament, April 1st.
That's right. First Saturday in April.
Yep. And it's short courses. Both of them are 5,000 feet or less than 5,000 feet. But as I said in a post, it is Colwich, so just because it's short doesn't mean it's easy.
No, it's not. Nope. No, it'll be fun. I hope that we fill it with 180 people, and I hope we have the biggest raffle to date. So
raffle's looking huge. There's a Bushnell with music, carts and bags. discs and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah,
Awesome.
that's going to be awesome. And that's the first, April the 1st. So I'll just kind of highlight what's coming up. This coming up weekend, the 18th, 19th,
18th.
we have the Chris Jones Memorial in Marquette, who man, it's just weird going to tournaments and not seeing Jeansy there with us. And he was always he was at Marquette every year, and Salina, like the Rock, and always the same. And I think this is maybe the second or third one of these two. So Darren puts that on at Marquette, and it's always a blast. I haven't looked at the registration yet.
They got 13 registered. I'm getting ready to.
Yeah, that shocks me. Normally those guys may have signed up a bunch of Little River people and Hutch people without using disc golf scene. That might just be what they have on there. So
I'm gonna post it in the comments for everybody if you guys want to go check that one out.
Yeah, that if you have the opportunity, that's a must play. That's fun course for a good cause, put on by awesome people. I mean, you're not going to find a person.
Some new pin positions too.
Oh,
I've been seeing that. I've been seeing Darren posting some of that.
And you're not going to find a more giving person than Darren Bottom.
He's getting obnoxious with the pins, though. I think he's getting a little obnoxious.
When it comes to somebody who's going to help somebody else out, that's the guy right there, man. So another course that's not overly long, but definitely not easy. Yeah, somebody's talking about the smiley face hole right now
on Pac-Man
on the discussion. So, and then the weekend after that, another must-play Kansas event if you've never played it, the Dis Unlimited Open, which that thing's been on the Oz Tour since I started playing it in '97, and it was probably one of those first 12 courses, I would imagine.
Yes. Yep. He put that in '87 for a Harrington Centennial celebration.
So that's always a good one, and it'll fill. I don't know what the numbers are there, but there's no doubt in my mind that it will fill and have a wait list.
54 registered for that one right now.
54.
So, of course, back then, Dennis had sort of the homemade basket thing.
Yep.
The ice water and the cone and the cable catcher.
So real homemade, scrounge we could find. Awesome. Then the weekend between Dis Unlimited and the scholarship tournament, one that I haven't played is Smoky Hill Spring Fling at Brown Park in Abilene. I haven't played the new design. I've played Brown Park many years ago, and the park itself was awesome. So I would imagine any updates or upgrades there, that place is probably great.
Yeah, that place is fun. That course is a lot of fun.
You've played it, Bill?
9-hole. Yeah, back when it was a 9-hole.
Yeah, that's the same as me. Way back then. Is it 18 now, Gerber?
Yep. Yeah, it's 18 now. Yep.
Cool. Yep. And you know what? I think Darren Bottom might be the TD of all three of these tournaments.
Yeah, I think so.
He's got a busy stretch.
Yeah. Wow. That's why he's camping this week. So
guy stays so busy.
Yep, he's a stud. So yeah, and then we just finished up with the Renaissance in Camp Hawk, like we said, and diabolical doubles. So the KJ season is well underway, and the Garden City crew just hit me up yesterday wanting to get on the tour. So I don't know how many stops are on there, but there's at least one more from them. And Starbuck in Beloit, he runs a little disc golf shop there in Beloit. He hit me up, and Beloit will have a tournament other than the state championship. So there'll be a tournament there. And he's also going to do one back at Concordia at Airport Park, which is a really fun
Yeah.
little disc golf course too. So
Glad to play a tournament there again.
yeah. So things are moving and shaking, and 222 members, and ordering more shirts and discs and pins, and
Yeah.
pretty good year so far.
Great start.
So, and I don't know, were we done with food drives at our last one or not?
I think
Wouldn't have had a
so.
final date.
I think we had just gotten done.
And if not, Pratt and Norton came in there on that last weekend, and we were just below our goal, and both tournaments blew it out of the water, and we surpassed our goal, 30,000 or whatever it was, and man, that's amazing to give that much money to the food drive. So
I think that's
crazy.
the coolest thing that KDGA does. So cool.
I love
I
bragging
think-
about that to people. I
it's a neat
love
thing.
bragging about that.
It's a cool thing. So, and other than that, I don't know of any other real KDJ news.
Yeah, I don't think there's April 2nd. You got your no fooling going on that you got, and then
That's going to be cool.
I think the next time we'll be on will be April after that. So we'll be on before the Bueller Open and Park City Open and all that. So
that no fooling is going to be potentially going to be a crazy day, man. We're just going to, it's flex start, and we're doing it at Oak Park, and you can come and you can play the red course PDJ event if you want. You can play the blue course as a flex PDJ event if you want. You can play both of them. You can just come hang out. I'm just going to be there by the practice basket all day. And
yeah,
man, if the weather is nice, that is going to be a cool thing. So probably going to be cold and rainy and miserable.
I hope not.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I got lucky at the kickoff, or not the kickoff, the Camp Hawk. Other than wind, it wasn't that bad. So there's been some times out there where, oh man, we've had to start fires before to stay warm. So
yeah, I think I've been there for one of those.
I think that's it for me.
Yeah, that's it for me. Thanks
Paulson
for coming.
came in and ruined Gerber's day by winning the game.
Got me on that last question.
We had a chance, and we discussed everything we need to do. So
yeah, thanks for coming on, Bill.
Yeah, appreciate it. That was awesome.
Thank you for all the stories, and everybody seemed to love all those stories you had. So
I may have to have him back on.
Yeah, I agree.
So maybe I'll come to his house and help him get his computer rolling first.
Yeah.
Yeah. So cool. All right, everybody.
Guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.